Hey guys, welcome to oldpocketknives.com. This is Jesse, and today I wanted to share with you a purchase that I recently made on eBay. Alright, so most of us are probably familiar with old timer, right? Old timer knives like this one here. Most of them were made by Schrade, and some of them were made by Ulster Knife Company, but this one that's in this package was made by another company. So we'll talk about that in a second. But this one is kind of a special knife to me because this was a knife given to me by my grandfather, and one of several. You can see it's got that Schrade Walden mark on it, so that's pre-1974. Old timers were made by Schrade, I think, from the late 50s, 60s, 70s, and actually they continue on today, but sometime in the 2000s they began to be manufactured in China. But this is a good old USA knife, and a very cool one for me. Alright, so this knife in here is not the Schrade old timer, but rather it was made by John Primble Belknap Hardware out of Louisville, Kentucky. So I wanted to just kind of open that with you guys, so let's check that out, see what we have in here. Good packaging, stay nice and safe. Let's check it out. All right, so one thing you probably noticed right off the bat is that this actually has bone handles, saw cut bone handles. And I know that there was an issue with it right there. You can see there's a little chip there, but overall, it's not really a chip, it's just a crack. But overall, one thing that stands out is these knives are a lot more attractive than your average old timer because of those natural saw cut bone handles. It's real nice. So as you can see here, it is not the Schrade mark, it is not the Ulster mark, but rather the John Primble Belknap Hardware and Manufacturing Company. So that is pretty cool. It has a stamp on it, looks like 935, 965, 935, yep. And it is a stockman. I believe it's 4 inches long. And it's got our sheepfoot blade, spay blade, and a clip blade with a cool match strike pull on it. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I purchased it, and I bought it on eBay for $30 and maybe $40 with tax and shipping. So anyway, it wasn't you know, a garage sale find where it's a $5 knife or something, but I thought it was pretty cool. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. A little bit of history of the Belknap Hardware to follow. Okay, so this brand goes back to 1840. The company Belknap Hardware was one of these large hardware firms that had a catalog. Eventually it had, you know, 100,000 things in it that you could purchase, kind of like a Sears and Roebuck, pocket knives being one of them. And one of their private brands was this brand here, and you can see John Primble Belknap Hardware and Manufacturing Company. Now, this stamp was used, according to a lot of the sources I saw, from about 1940 to about 1968 is what I saw. So that puts it in that probably 1958 to 1968 kind of time period. This old-timer shield that you see here was first used in 1958, and those were all made by Schrade Walden. And I think what we typically associate with old-timers are the Schrade knives. Again, sometimes you see Ulster, but again, this one is not either of those. This is that John Primble stamp. And it turns out that Primble did not make their own knives, but rather they contracted them by other makers, through other makers who were kind of big brands of the day, including, you guessed it, Schrade Walden, Utica, Camillus, and even some case knives and Booker USA as well. So most likely this knife was made by Schrade Walden during that late 60s time period. And that's kind of the story on these. Now, I've seen quite a few of these, actually not quite a few, but a few of them online, and they actually had their own kind of display case, folding display case with a lid. And most of those that I've seen have the Delrin handles. So the bone handle was kind of a more premium option, I guess. And I wish I had that display case, that little kind of folding display, but this is a cool knife nonetheless. So anyway, I hope you've learned something about this brand, and let me know if you have any Primble knives in your collection. Okay guys, thanks again for watching the video. I hope you learned something about this scarce old-timer knife and John Primble knives. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this stuff, like the video, leave any comments if you will, and again, happy collecting. This is Jesse from Old Pocket Knives. Have a great day. Bye-bye.